We're looking at part 2 now of Iron Maiden's Fear of the Dark. It's the melodic part where if you happen to watch or listen to the live version of Fear of the Dark, you can actually hear the crowd chanting this melody. But while the crowd chants that, the guitarist in the background is playing. So that's what the one guitar is going to do, and while the one guitar is doing this, which I'm going to play through, you're going to hear a second guitar now in the background that I've pre-recorded playing against this. So I'm going to play through what I just did now with the backtrack, and it's going to sound something like this. You can hear the guitar in the background there. Fingers out the way so you can see it easier. Basically the same shape, just moving around. And there you have guitar part 1. So let's have a look at what we're doing there, and then we're going to study the second part in the second half of this video. Now the chord shapes we're going to zoom in after we've done the picking pattern. So I'm going to quickly just zoom on the picking, excuse the Rick and Morty, big fan here. Okay, this over here you're not going to have damping, so that entire damping, that whole that we did in the first video, we're not going to do here. And also notice my guitar is unclear, so we're not going to have that whole sort of that overdrive vibe. We're going to switch your overdrive off, get a nice clean tone. That's why I'm using the Strat. And check the picking pattern. Everything is taking place on strings 5 and string 4. So I'm going to go down on 5, up on 4, down, up, and it sort of gives me a very nice rhythmic action. So it should feel really smooth, really relaxed, nice and easy to play. It should give you a natural rhythm. You can see there, down, up, nice and easy. And also resist the temptation to have a lot of pick. Like this is way too much pick sticking out, because now it flops around and twixt the strings, strange things known to happen. You want a tiny bit of tip sticking out of your pick, 3 to 4 millimeters maximum. So you strike the string and you leave the string. It's going to give you much better action, better results. Now focusing on your fretting hand. The basically power chords, you're starting at fret 5 and your pinky at fret 7. You can use your ring finger too if you want to. Notice my fingers are numbered, so a bit of a different angle perhaps. Maybe you can see the numbers are better there. And please use the same finger numbers. You can use 1 and 3 or 1 and 4. Do not do that. Okay, so I'm going to go for 1 and 4 because I like using the pinky, but lots of my players do prefer 1 and 3. Not a big deal. This power chord with the root note or bass note on fret 5 of the 5th string is D. So this is D5 power chord. And you simply count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and as simple as that. Then you slide down to the 1st fret. Notice my shape doesn't change. It simply relocates to different positions. If I zoom in a bit closer there, you can see I was over here, and all that's happened is I've simply slid from fret 5, finger doesn't actually change shape, to fret 1, and now you're going to have the same concept. That is B flat 5 because the bass note or root note is B flat. Then you come up to C into the second bar now, and that's C5. The 5 means power chord, by the way, the same as a small m means minor. 5 means power chord. It's got nothing to do with the fret. If it happens to be in fret 5 and it's a 5th, that's coincidence. So let's rewind so far. It's going to sound like this if you want to play with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and the next bar is going to be split halfway. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. Should we take it all together? 1, 2, 3, 4 and B flat, C, B flat back to C. That's the first half done. Second half starts the same D5. Remember 5 means power chord. B flat 5. And then this time when it comes to C, it simply stays there. So it doesn't do that little B flat twist back to the C. It simply goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and like that. So I'm going to zoom out now, get a bit of a different angle. And I want you to try and play through the whole way with me with the picking action. Are you ready? D5 in place. Make sure I get the right chords. That'll be pretty handy. And I'm going to play the backtrack again so you can play along with me. You'll hear 4 clicks. And the backup guitar, like I said, is actually pre-recorded as well. So you get more of a live feel. Let's go. 3, 4 and... There's the C that you're staying there, and you repeat the whole thing over again. And that's probably the easiest part of the entire song. Now we're going to switch over to the lead melody we spoke about that the crowd sings for the live version, and this is going to sound something like this. And as promised, we're going to do... And I'm going to play it once through now with the backtrack again. This time the chords are pre-recorded and I've taken that pre-recorded overdrive part out and I'm going to play it live so you can hear how cool it sounds. Counting in and let's do it. Nice vibrato there. Now there's going to be some cool techniques to help you with your sustain, help you keep your guitar quiet, but let's first go through from the beginning. We're going to start with a double 7, and you'll notice over there that if I focus more onto my fretting hand, which I'm going to do now, get the guitar more into view, the third finger is going to start at fret 7 and it simply jumps across. I will show you later how to control the string noise, but for now, let's first get the notes. 7, 7, 5, and then you can do a hammer-on and a slide if you want to. So you go from the 5, hammer-on to the 6, slide to the 8, and that gives you nice legato, so you could do this. Sounds pretty cool. And when I come back down 6, 5, maybe a little slide back, 6, 5, and then you jump very quickly in the 5th fret up to the 3rd string from the 2nd. So super slow motion. Now to control that noise, I'm going to focus more in on my picking hand. So we're going to change the angle there, get the guitar a bit raised, a bit of view. And I want you to watch specifically for what my palm hand is doing over here. Added a little bit extra light so you can see inside there. And we're going to mention that palm damping, the thumb damping, and also watch my middle finger here. We're starting on the double 7, so this is on the double 7. But I want you to focus on this hand, on your picking hand, to make sure you've got nice silent notes, or no unnecessary string noise will be a better terminology. Now check when I go from the 4th to the 3rd string, you see the side of my thumb. It's actually resting on the string. You can see the strings moving there. This makes sure I don't get this. This will be bad. That was really as noisy as hell. We don't want that. So to cross over, you can see my thumb is resting on that string. That will keep going when I go to the 5. You can see my thumb again is really close to the strings, making sure that they're nice and silent. And this finger is actually holding the 1st string. So when I pick that 5, there's my hammer on. I must slide, but the only string that can make a noise is my 2nd string, because my thumb is resting, as you can see, on strings 3, 4, 5 and 6, and that 1st finger is holding, the 1st string is being held by the middle finger. So one more time, watch how close my picking hand is. And you can see it's got a really good grip, different angle there. You can see the hand is nice and tight on the strings, very important for string control. For the next bar, I'm going to focus more to fretting hand again. Get the lighting move a bit there. Live lighting by. Okay, you're going to move down to fret 5 and it's going to go. Notice I start with the third finger, and the reason why I want the third finger is to make sure my first finger gets into place. Let's try and get a bit of a better angle on. There you can see a bit better now. There's the second bar's 5, 5, but the third finger, because then the first finger is in place for the 3 for the next 2 notes. Then double 5, and that's 6, 3. Definitely the pinky for the 6th fret and the 3rd string, and maybe a pull off to get nice legato. You can see there, pick, flick. So second bar works quite nicely, and then we come back up to the same position because the last phrase is pretty much the same as the first. The only difference is that you hold or sustain your last note with a lot of vibrato. And of course you need to focus on, like we mentioned, your picking hand nice and close to the strings. Okay, now this jam is actually, or this particular lead part sounds much nicer than jam, okay, is actually in the key of F, the chords being D, 5, C5 and B flat 5. It implies the chords D minor, C major and B flat major. So if you just want to jam over it a little bit like I'm going to now, you could sort of take your D minor scale, D minor pentatonic, which obviously will be covered in a different one, and just to sign off for the fun of it, I'm going to jam just 1 3. Check this out. Rewind it, and here we go. Going to the natural minor. You can hear the difference between the pentatonic and the diatonic, just for a bit of a tonal combination. So I'm going to do it one more time, get a little bit closer, and you're going to see the first part. I'm going to go pentatonic, you can hear the sound of it, and then I'm going to go diatonic and you can hear the sound of that, just to compare for your own sort of curiosity, the difference in sound between the two scales. Pentatonic scale jam first. Diatonic. And you can hear there how the diatonic gives a very different sound from the pentatonic, but we're not going to debate that in this video. That we'll do in another one. We will do more detailed combinations. Just wanted to get your sort of curiosity going for that. Otherwise, have an awesome evening. If you don't have the PDF file with the tabs for the different guitar parts, let me know. I'll send it to you. And have a cool evening. I'm going to do one last jam just for the fun of it because it's such a lekker chord progression. And have a cool, excellent week. Diatonic, here we come. And cheers.